Hello, Raw Food Rehab. Thank you for joining me in the loo. One of my favorite topics when we're talking about cleansing and detoxifying is the importance of a clean colon. Okay, now I decided to put this particular video into the loo instead of putting it as a headline news post because I know, we have a lot of new members here on the website, and people join, and the question is, how much of a percentage of raw food do you think you eat in your diet? And when they say 0 or 5%, I think just busting out on the topic of proper colon cleansing is probably, maybe it's not for everybody. And even people who have been well-seasoned raw foodists, there are differing opinions on whether or not to employ different techniques to clean your colon. And so the title of this particular video is Mama's Got a Brand New Bag. Oh yeah, I sure do. This is what I use when I do in-home enemas. Yeah, too much information for some people already. Just had some people click off the off button. That's okay. Now, this particular attachment, I'm just going to show it to you and then I'm going to put it down. Basically, it has this long tube. And I don't know, some of you guys probably have one of these things. And don't worry, it's clean. It's brand new, okay? But what happens is you buy this enema kit I bought it at like a medical supply. It's a drugstore that has a little bit more like medical supply stuff. Anyway, you fill this bag full of pure clean water. Just preferably a little bit warmed up. I like to warm the water up just a little bit so it's not super cold. Some people do coffee enemas where you take organic coffee and you brew that and you dilute it with water, which basically what that does is that helps the liver to dump bile, which is one of the ways that we cleanse our liver, and it creates an additional peristaltic action, which causes your colon to, do what it does when you're having a bowel movement. Anyway, so this thing screws into the bag, and this is your little open and close lever. So you keep that closed, obviously, or you'll have like the water worm. I don't know if you guys remember the silly water worm that we used to have when we were growing up, but that's what it'll do. And I've had coffee all over the walls of my bathroom. I mean, it's like, it's a comedy of errors whenever I do this. In a previous video, I talk about my old enema bag that I used to have. I have 5 drawers in my bathroom. Enema bag goes in the 4th drawer. And I've always said, I could stash anything I wanted to stash in the whole world in the 4th drawer and know that it would be safe for my family. I mean, if I had $1 million, I would put it in the 4th drawer because everybody knows that that's where Mama's enema bag is, and those kids and the husband and everybody else, nobody even touches the knob on the 4th drawer. I mean, it's one way to keep people out of my business is to let everybody know I wouldn't go there if I was you. Anyway, so when you are undertaking a cleanse, any kind of a cleanse, I highly recommend helping your body to eliminate the toxins, freeing up more energy, and getting some of that old residue out of your system. It's not for everybody. If this doesn't resonate with you, it's not for you then. I mean, you're just not there. It may not be, important to you. I have a background and a history of irritable bowel syndrome. So I was doing colonics or colon hydrotherapy before I ever even went raw. And I'm a firm believer, had I not started doing colon cleansing, that no telling what kind of degenerative illness I would be suffering from. I was so toxic in my system. I mean, I seriously would go for like a week and not have a bowel movement. And people, that's no good. And people tell me they think they're regular, I have 3 bowel movements a week. Hey, folks, that's not regular. You should be having at least 1 bowel movement daily. And what you're looking for, the ultimate is you're looking for 18 inches of fecal matter on a standard diet, where you're eating regular 3 meals a day. And that's kind of what you're looking for. And better yet, it ought to float. It should. Now, I don't always have floaters, so, I'm not saying that, that you're sick if you don't, but that's ultimately what we're working towards is that buoyancy. So one of the other things that you can do, if all this is just too much to handle in your mind, and there's plenty of videos on the internet, there's plenty of information out there that tells you exactly what to do and how to give yourself an enema. I recommend colon hydrotherapy if you have the money to do that. But one other thing that you can add into your daily diet is psyllium husk. Psyllium husk is just a non-soluble fiber that you can mix in with your juices or smoothies, and it's kind of like Metamucil basically, only there's not all the chemicals and sugar and everything. It really does help to add bulk into your system, and it helps work through and lubricate and cleanse all of that built up mucus that you get from basically your throat all the way out through the back door. You have this buildup of mucus when you've been eating a standard American diet. Another thing that I like to do, this is my little jar of golden flax seeds, and I will grind up maybe a tablespoon of flax seeds and mix that in with my juice. It's especially effective mixing it in with freshly pressed apple juice, because the two of those together really work to help your liver and your gallbladder to cleanse. And that's something that you can do. It's very gentle, it's very safe and effective. If you're experiencing any kind of gallbladder trouble, fresh apple juice with a little bit of ground flaxseed mixed in is very helpful, and it's very easy for you to do. I take my flaxseed and grind it up in a coffee grinder, and that's just something we don't use our coffee grinder for anything other than my nuts and seeds. So that's what I do. There are also many herbal teas out on the market. Many of you have heard of Smooth Move, I think by Herbal. Well, there's several different companies. Smooth Move tea. It's a gentle, effective herbal laxative tea that if you're home and you want to sip on that through the day, if you like the flavor of that, you can there's several that you can find that you might like the taste of. But I just wanted to open this up for discussion. I know that, some of you are not an advocate of doing colon cleansing like what I'm talking about, but I think that for those of you who have suffered from any kind of irregularity or who are undertaking a cleanse or a detox, I think it's very valuable for you to at least explore this option. I really highly recommend it. Matt Monarch's done a ton of teaching on it, and I think he's probably right now probably got some of the best teaching out about why would we want to do colon hydrotherapy. You can just Google that on YouTube and all his videos will come up. So I'd like to hear from you today. Have you done an enema or colon hydrotherapy? What were your results from that? I know some people have not all had positive results, but I find that most people who have had it done swear by it. So we'd just love to hear what your experiences are today. If you have questions, we have several colon hydrotherapists that are on this site, and hopefully they'll get plugged into this conversation and they can lend their expertise. So again, colon cleansing, it's an important part of your detox. Let's hear from you. Bye.